episode of The Kitchen Warrior. I'm your chef Melvin, and today I'm very excited about showing you how to make crab bisque using opilio crab. Follow me to the kitchen. To make this crab bisque, we're going to need the following ingredients. We have salt and pepper, flour, celery, carrots, onion, tomato paste, fresh thyme, paprika, butter, water or chicken stock. We have white wine, we have brandy or cognac, we have some milk, we have oil, vegetable oil, and we have some opilio crab. This crab, we are going to remove the meat from within the shells, and we're going to make the bisque using nothing but the shells. So from the 1.5 pounds of opilio crab that we started with, we ended up with 4 ounces approximately of crab meat. That's the reason why crab is so expensive. With these crab shells that we have, instead of discarding them in the garbage, from now on you're going to consider making the sauce called crab bisque. Let's cut up some vegetables that we're going to need to make the sauce. You don't have to be perfect in these cuts. These are all going to be sauteed. It's mirepoix, and eventually it's going to be all blended. And strained to make a really nice, great sauce. Now that we have all our vegetables, we're going to go to the stove and we're going to make the sauce real quick. Our mirepoix is cooking down a little bit. We're getting a little bit of a little caramelization on it. And this is the beginning of how to make the sauce. We're going to add all our crab shells right in there. And we're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. We want to dry it out a little bit before we add the brandy. Alright, 5 minutes have gone by, and a lot of the liquid has dried out, and you'll see a little bit of caramelization at the bottom of the pan. All of these are going to add to a little bit of the flavor now when we add the brandy. So when we add the brandy, we want to make sure we have some matches or a lighter available, because we want to burn out the liquid, the liqueur from this brandy. Being very careful, we're going to add the brandy. After the brandy has burned, we're going to add the wine. We're going to add a little bit of wine, and immediately after that, we're going to add our water. Those are 4 cups of water. We're going to let this boil a little bit, and we're going to add our tomato paste. This is about 4 ounces of tomato paste. We're going to stir this really good. And we're going to let this boil for a good 10 to 15 minutes. While our bisque is boiling, we're going to make the blonde roux that we're going to need to thicken the sauce. And we're going to add about a good 1.5 ounces of oil and equal parts of flour. And we're going to make a sort of a paste. We don't want to overcook the roux. We want to keep it blonde. We've been cooking this for about 15 minutes. And you can see already it's starting to look like a nice soup. The tomato paste has thickened this liquid slightly. And what we're going to do at this point is that we're going to remove all the shells and the vegetables. And we're going to put them right here. And we're going to run these through the blender. And as we run it through the blender, all the shells are going to get crushed, and the oils and the real strong flavor of crab will be released at that point. This is the secret of the sauce, to grind the shells. Placed all the shells in the blender, and we're going to take some of the broth where we were cooking the crabs, And we're going to put it right here in the blender. 1, 2, 2.5. It is very important to use a towel. Place it right over the top because there will be steam building up in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal this and we're going to blend it. We want to crush the shells. So now that we have blended this down to a puree, we're going to run it here through the strainer, and with a spoon back and forth we're going to get all the liquid that is going to come out from the shells. You have to be a little bit patient. This is the part where we're really building up the bisque. You can see at this point it's more like a base. We're going to place the liquid back into the stove, where we're going to bring it back to a boil. At this time, we're going to add about a teaspoon of paprika. And we're also going to add our fresh thyme. When this reaches to a boiling point, we're going to add our roux. And this will be the base. It is at this time where you can decide whether you're going to add your cream or your milk to the sauce, or you're going to save it in some ice cube trays for any time you make pasta dishes. You'll be able to draw from this supply that you have. So here we have our roux, and we're going to add it right here to our sauce. Get a little bit of the liquid here. So now that we've added our roux, we begin to stir the sauce, making sure that it doesn't burn. If you're going to cook on high, make sure that you never step away from the stove. And we're going to let this cook for at least 5 minutes. We want to make sure that that roux is fully cooked. And I'm going to show you how it looks like in just a minute. So a little bit of this foam is going to build around the edges of the sauce. And what you want to do is you want to pick that up, you want to skim it. These are impurities. Very careful not to take the sauce out. Now we're ready to season our bisque. We're going to use a little salt and pepper. We're going to start with 1 good spoon. Stir it here real good. And we're going to taste it. As you can see, the sauce has this maroon color. It's almost orange and brown color. That's correct. We're going to taste it. And it's right on. So now, because we want to turn it into a bisque, this is ready for service. We're going to add some of this milk right here, and we're going to lighten it just a little bit. We do not want to add so much that we break the roux or the sauce becomes extremely light. So we got to make sure that when we do this, that the sauce has to be boiling. The sauce comes to a boil, and we're going to test the sauce. We're going to look at it, and it's going to coat the back of the spoon lightly. It is a soup at this point, so it's going to be nice and brothy. Remember, as this sauce sits for a while, the tomato paste and the roux will continue to thicken the sauce slightly as some evaporation takes place. And finally, you can mount the sauce with a little bit of butter, but if you're on a special diet or if you're trying to watch your calories, you can omit this part. I personally like to add a little bit of butter. And This is a crab bisque. So we have walked through all the steps of how to turn the crab shells into a crab bisque. Always keep in mind that when you're using brandy, to leave enough room for the flames to burn out. I'm Chef Melvin, the Kitchen Warrior. Thank you for watching.